the Smart Nonsense Podcast where we talk about smart. Nice.
Synchronized swimming intro, dude. That was sick.
Dude, I told you I had an intro, and it's because I was thinking about the fact that the last pod that went out the door, I was talking to editor Ken, this was like 3 days ago, podcast titled something like, I think we shut it all down.
Mm-hmm.
Boot it up, dude. Boot it up.
Wow.
New season of the pod.
Wow, the pigs
We're
are
back.
off. The pigs come out and they're eating. They're eating, dude. Good to be
Ken
back.
said it was the most existential pod of all time, and it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went on for like 50 minutes about how nothing's fun anymore.
That was 50 minutes? Well, we did also have a therapy call where your brother, quote, said, "This sounds existential for Dylan." And I don't know what that's about as real as it gets.
It's tough when you got Giggles Mickey over here, dude. Because, and this is probably a fault of mine, ain't nothing existential to me. It's all one big goofy little game. And
I think,
even
dude,
when you're having your worst days, I'm just giggling.
You're like the actual personification of Derd. Like Derd's just happy-go-lucky, dude. Yeah. Oh, dude.
I play him too.
I
hope that helps on your way and stuff.
You won't get residuals though for any of that. It's really cool. You're coming into the actor. Yeah, I'm stuffed.
You sound sick. I mean, I caught you at about 4 a.m. last night. That's what we're gonna get into. Haven't done that in probably about 5 years.
Me
feels a little naughty. You.
I haven't done that in 5 years. It's been my last 5 months. 5 years actually, every day for the last 5 years. No, dude, it was good to see you back. I guess I don't know what that was. It's not even a back. That's a whole new person. I didn't even know I felt awkward. I'm like, should I leave this comment? Like, it's kind of my safe space. That like 2 to 5 a.m. block is like I'm just firing stuff off into the ether. But when I'm getting reverb, when I'm getting bounce back ricochets, I'm like, I don't know what to do here.
It was funny because so we're gonna get to the why. That's the little retention trick we're holding over your head. But I was just having trouble falling asleep because I was thinking about a lot of things. And then like 1:30 rolled around, and I finally like got out of bed and went on the couch. And to your point about having your safe space, I had like 10 messages from you personally, and you had about 10 in our group chat, all jazzed up about the opportunity and all this excitement. And I sat there for a minute like, do I join his safe space? Or do I just let him be?
Oh, you saw me actively going.
Yeah. And I was actively going. And I was like, if I join this safe space, we're going to be going. Little did I know, like, yeah, I was just lobbing grenades and you were just sending back like, oh fuck. Like
dude, I've never been blasted like that before. Especially at that hour. I was so vulnerable. The crux is it all started with an accidental hackathon. I think that's the bit.
Well, so let's go back a little bit, right? Existential call that we did live on the air here, and then we went into therapy call with my brother. The gist was like, hey, this ain't like, we're growing, and like this isn't the same like level of fun it was when we were just the two of us or 10 people and like we did everything. And like through the weekend, I was kind of having trouble with that through the weekend because there were just like I was being pulled on a lot of things. And I think maybe we talked about on here or we didn't, but I like also came to this Mr. Beast conclusion of like, keep our content, keep the main thing. And you were like, yeah, but I need you on this SAT app because it's going to be such a ridiculously big opportunity. And I knew that, but I didn't quite understand it. But anyway, we come into Monday, and what changes is I'm like, you know what? You're right. This isn't fun. You need my help on Brain Blast. And so I start kind of like clearing out my afternoons for Brain Blast, which I hadn't been working on with you and Krishna for probably 3-4 months. And the baton
Oh, are you passing it back to me?
was
I like.
passed.
I haven't gone in listener mode in a while. That was kind of nice. You're giving a little summary.
Well, yeah, it's
Uh,
usually your pod, but you're Snuffleupagus.
well,
And I'm
uh,
cracked out today, dude. And I have to apologize to you and the listeners, but I've just been on one today.
yeah. Um, very little sleep. Um, well, yeah. One thing I'll say on the existential Jack therapy call, fantastic. He listened to both sides. He saw that I was the baby diva in the room that just needed a hand to hold. So he's like, Henry, just suck it up and just like play with Dylan for a little bit. And if he's not happy, we'll figure it out. But
Yeah, he was
maybe
like,
this will make him
next
happy.
week, just how many hours do you work? I'm like, 35. He's like, okay. Can you just carve out 10 of those? Like just two a day? Just two a day. Or for Diva Dylan and Brain Blast. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, just two a day. Okay,
Yeah.
two a day.
So here's kind of my point. Like, part of it is like, and this will get into like Monday Baton in a second, but uh, part of it's like I've been cooking on this game. I got a whiteboard that I'm like just sketching by myself every day for the past couple months, and like, um, I think our dynamic, like, without you, my dynamic just goes towards perfectionism and fucking fantasy world, and like
Mm.
I need like the reality check of like, okay, that's really cool. Maybe one day we'll do that, but like, what can we do today? And then I think it's that tug of war. And when it's just me in a tug of war, I'm just pulling myself back, and I'm falling into the swamp behind me.
And see, I thought like for this product you're building, I thought Krishna was your shipper. So we've got perfectionist and shipper. But I think Krishna's a bit younger, doesn't know you as well, is new to the team. And so maybe wasn't giving you like, we have 10 years of like, I know where to push back. I know where to ship. I know where you're right in certain areas. And like, it's kind of like a mind meld dance that just,
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just like, yeah, it's unfair. Just like, yeah, we figured it out. So it's, especially when we're trying to like this thing that could be Duolingo, like $10 billion company size, at least in my head. I feel like you haven't given it the time of day, so you don't see that vision. I see the vision, but like I don't have my like perfect sparring partner, and so like I'll maybe get my way because Krishna like defaults to me, but like my way might be stupid a lot, and I just need like you pushing back. So I think that was my point, is like whatever I'm building for the product, I know it's gonna instantly be 10 times better the second we can like go back and forth. You've been pulled in all different directions, so like you
I
haven't just
thought
thought about this.
I thought Krishna was like a harder core shipper than me, and she is in a lot of ways. So
Yeah, I
I was like,
think
"Oh wow, this is going to get to market faster, find product market, iterate faster, find product market fit faster, be better with Krishna pushing along." That was the
yeah,
assumption I was operating under.
and no, it might be. I don't know.
It might, but let's get to
Well, the point is like basically the first day you're back. And I don't know whatever what day it was, but like
it was 2 days.
2 days. Yeah, I
But
don't
let's
even know
talk
if I
about
was here Monday.
oh,
Oh well, what's
happy
Monday?
happy birthday, dude. Um First day back, we kind of toiled over it was Fantasyland.
Oh yeah,
It was content. We spent like 4
right. So
hours toiling.
with the game, uh, basically in the game we realized we want to have this thing where you compete against your friends on SAT questions. Cool. But that's only like just the trick to get people to come play. Then you're actually going to get good at the SAT by doing things like training, which is like doing a bunch of practice problems, not just like the one-offs with your friends. And then also watching like a video course, which is leaning into our strength. Like, what are we good at? It's like video. Like that's why Krishna came to us in the first place. Is like, let's make amazing video. So it's like, oh, let's stack that with the game, and like we just have this incredible thing that no one can compete with because we have like a 10x here, a 10x there, smash them all together. And so kind of the idea was, Belky, you come in and you're like, you're gonna lead video for this game. And now it's like, how do we make the best video in the world for SAT, which is a different bar than I was even imagining. But like, how do you make the best? And like, it almost feels like a bingeable series, like you're watching Succession or House of Cards or whatever it is. You're just like, I
Dude,
can't stop
oh,
watching this.
Succession. I thought you said Severance. I was like, that is not a bingeable series. I have to watch 9 episodes before our watch party tomorrow,
Oh, they're
and
that deep,
they're heavy. They're cinematic. You can really only watch like one at a time.
right?
So I'm doing 3x Severance to try and get to this watch party tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, not Severance. Good thing I didn't mention that.
Bingeable
Um,
content.
So yeah, I come in and I kind of pitch like this fantasy world of like, okay, Dird, it's kind of like Wizard of Oz or something. Dird's on this adventure, and Belky, you're the guide, like a Yoda type character, and you're trying to like coach him, and he's gonna encounter like evil villains, and like one of them's Albert Einstein, one's Newton, one's Da Vinci, one's Pythagoras. Like these are the four main areas of the SAT, and he has to like battle them over questions, but you're gonna like coach him through, which is cool. Like it might
Did you get the
work.
college board in there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. Well, if we could reference the background here.
It's like,
College Board is like the evil empire. It's like this mysterious, like shady characters, but it's all like Dird silhouettes, basically, just like a bunch of Dirds, evil Dirds, and maybe they send like Pythagoras out to kill Dird over these problems. Just like a crazy whole storyline. But
and
I
you,
was trying to like smash like cartoon world into our game because I think we can get like best of both worlds. Like we want to make SpongeBob. It's like, oh, we can actually build SpongeBob in the game, and we get paid for it.
right.
Baton.
Just to close on the narrative arc there, it's like you, the student, uh, go through our curriculum, our video course, you defeat the college board, and you get into Harvard. That's the kind of hero's journey of
Right.
what the content was going to
And
be.
the College Board is trying to keep you out of Harvard, basically.
Yeah, and so Monday we spend like 4 hours. I go for multiple walks. We're in a dock. You're brain blasting, texting. We just spend like many hours building world building, building out Fantasyland.
Right.
Um,
And also ordering SAT books because we gotta like now learn. What's funny though, I just thought like I we or at least I ordered these a while back when we are trying to like build it, and immediately I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to teach this. But now like 6 months, a year later, coming back to the same stuff, I'm like, okay, I want to make this now. Like we have sort of like a support network of like,
right.
okay, this can be fun. Versus
It's
before it was just you and me and it was miserable.
early SpongeBob in like the 0 to 9 months before they created the show. I remember hearing like Hillenberg was telling his creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenberg, was telling his college professor, like, I don't have an idea or something I want to torture myself over for like 2 to 4 seasons. Just don't have it. And that's what kind of you've been working on this more, but to me, it's felt like the last like 6 months or a year. Like when we first cracked into SAT, I was like, I'm not willing to torture myself over this. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
not. We do the smart nonsense thing. We tell funny jokes. Like I'm not willing to. Yesterday, and when we get to the big unlock and the big kernel, like you said, I was like, oh shit, this is worth torturing.
Mm.
This is worth the torture. The little Viet Cong booby trap.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't try and pass the baton back. Come on, you take it for a little bit. I'm not used to this.
um, you're not used to me having me yapping. Okay, so we build out. Dude, let me just say on the baton.
Oh, we had a call yesterday. I
No,
forgot
no,
about
wait,
the
wait,
call.
wait, wait,
Okay.
wait, 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 wait. Don't take the baton. I
My
was
bad.
thinking about the baton. I think when we have like any sort of slow wit or pause, because we listen to everything like 2x, 1.5x, 3x severance, we think this is like the dumbest, most boring pod in the world. I was driving home from Wisconsin with some friends and they put on, I think it's called like the Meat Eater pod. It's like 4 dudes just sitting around talking about like wildlife game and whatnot. Dude,
Oh, I've hung out with that dude. He comes in here a lot.
that'll be your baton. Most boring fucking fuck all podcast ever, dude. They're not, they're like they're not saying fill in space. They're not doing anything. And it's like one of the most popular ever. So anyway, you know the guy?
Wow. Yeah, he always comes in and I'm like, I don't listen to you. I don't really know who you are. And like, he's a big deal. I'm like, I don't really know who you are.
Well, did you get my point?
Yeah, like, hey, we can
Don't
fucking, it doesn't have to be
don't
rip roaring.
yeah,
Bar's pretty low.
don't worry if you don't have an immediate baton. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I always have a baton.
So that was a side baton there. So we basically world build all of Monday, and what do we just go to sleep? We just kind of log off. We're like, we'll pick
Yeah,
this up
well,
tomorrow. It's
the
going to be
thing
a
is like,
hog.
we're basically like, okay, to teach the SAT, which is basically like all of middle and high school math in like a condensed way, but like build in this fantasy world. We're like, okay, what's like how do we actually make this doable? Because we're trying to like launch this game in a few months, and we can't animate a fucking 100 videos like this cartoon world. So it's like we're just kind of sitting with like, okay, what is it going to actually look like? That's why we got the book, so we can figure out like map out sort of the course and the scripts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and on the spectrum, this is always our spectrum of like from simple edits to SpongeBob universe. Like,
Right.
where are these videos going to land? We almost always end up on the simple edits side of the scale because it's fast,
Yeah.
which is funny. But someday we will hit the dirtiverse side of the spectrum. So we go to sleep with that, right? The next day, Novi, beautiful, gorgeous Novi, who is the primary developer on the Smart Nonsense game, turns in a play build, right?
A game we can play.
A game we can play on itch.io for you non-developers. They push their code to itch.io. You play it on the website. Super jank,
Right.
but it works. And so we get playing the game, Pop. We get playing the game, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not fun. It's not a fun game. In fact, you recorded like a 30-minute breakdown of you playing. What?
Well, just like the first comment Krishna had when she watched it was like, "Wow, low energy." I'm like, yes. Just
Oh, yeah. Well, so you played the game for 30 minutes. The game is called Brain Blast. And unfortunately, you were doing math problems for 30 minutes. It brain blasted you. And I don't know about you, but like in terms of building something viral, this is what you were saying. Like the goal is it's kind of like Elon harping on this thing on Twitter of like trying to conquer this problem of getting the regrettable like time spent on Twitter down. As in like when you're on Twitter, it should be unregrettable. Same thing here. You're like, when I play this game, it shouldn't zoop me into a coma. Like, because then I
right,
don't want to open the game up again.
right. Yeah, it just had
So
me
that
doing
was a problem.
problems for like 10 minutes straight, and then it's like, all right, half your round's done. Finish the other half. I'm like, fuck this, dude.
Layered on
Because I was
top
too
of
good at the
that,
game. I kept playing.
there's real-time physics, and there's like Street Fighters, Dirt versus Dirtette, and like Dirt versus Dirt Einstein, and they're like punching each other, and the XP's going down, and I win the round, and so like I wallop your character. It's just like throwing everything we got at this thing. So, in light of like, I've now got brain blast afternoons. I had nothing else to do. Just sitting around thinking about brain blast. And
We had the call. Are you getting into the call?
yeah, like we all hopped on a call and we just kind of sat around for probably an hour or so.
Well, on the call, my point on the call was like, yo, I was zooped and I didn't want to play the game. Probably not a good feeling, right? If we're making a game, you should want to play it. It's like, I don't know if we can, like, maybe we can like tweak this format and figure it out. But my guess is there are like a handful of other formats that we've just forgotten about, that we once brainstormed that we should actually try. And I think we just like threw them out with the bathwater super early on. Like one of them was live gameplay where it's like me battling you and whoever answers the question right first wins. It was super stressful. It was like we'd black out when we did it, but but it just felt like there was a lot of adrenaline. Like there's emotion in that game versus this is just like suck the life out of me. So I'm like, let's go to where the emotion is basically, and try out some of those game modes. Just tweak them so that they're good. Because like this game might be fixable, but like let's just see these other ones. And I think it's gonna be a feeling of like when you know, like shit's either gonna hit or it's not, and then we just all right, we can fall back on this one, but like let's see if other things hit.
Right. And so by the end of that call, we're like, okay, the next thing we're going to test is not this like big Street Fighter 10 question, blow my brains out, Zoop coma game. It's going to be like just a little packet of questions. So Henry, I get 3 SAT math questions. One's easy, one's medium, one's hard. I bang them out as fast as I can. I get a time, say it takes me 4 minutes. I take my packet, I send it to a friend. You do your 3. Whoever gets more right wins, or whoever does them faster wins. It's like, is the 3-question format the thing?
Right.
And then how do we start talking about
Well,
nuggets?
what happened was basically a round would take like 10 to 20 minutes in this other game. And I'm like, I'm zooped after 8. So a round like max should take 8 minutes. Ideally, you're leaving like on a high, like you want to play more. So we should have like these 3 to 5 minute rounds max, or like mini rounds. And so that's where we got like, okay, easy, medium, hard. That kind of seems like a good little format. You do them. I guess the way we do the turns, you do that twice. But yeah, I don't know why you
Right.
just
So
kind
then
of
you're
like,
doing
oh, you threw
6
out
problems.
options.
Oh
Yeah, you're
yeah,
doing
yeah. Here's
6.
what happens. So then I'm going for a long dog walk. I like a nice, when things aren't working, you gotta get. This is like that one time we were in a existential crisis and we just walked from your place to the what do we say, Narnia, to the Brooklyn Bridge or something.
Oh, yeah,
I
Narnia. And then we
don't.
just sat. It was like the walkway, and I just like lied down. I don't know if you were lying down, but just lying
Yeah,
down and
you just gotta
staring up
walk.
at the sky.
Like when you're stuck, and this is why I want to do. I want to walk more. I want to do more walking meetings, etc. That was Steve Jobs. I'm Steve Jobs. But you just like movement is motion. Oh, movement is motion.
I mean, that's technically true.
No, yeah. There's a saying: motion is medicine. Movement is medicine. How about that?
Nice.
So I go for a long dog walk, and here you go, Mr. Perfectionist. You're like, all right. So we have the 3 packet. But here's a consequence of doing the 3 packet. Like, what happens if like this happens with the time, and then they do that, and then you're like thinking through all of the logic in text. And I'm like, dude, here's the formats I want to see next: a 1 nugget, a 2 nugget, and a 3 nugget. And you're like, you said, huh? What is 1 nugget, 2 nugget, 3 nugget? I'm like, I do 3 questions. I send you 3 questions. That's a format. Second format, I do 2 questions. I send you 2 questions. Third format, I want to literally physically test. I don't want to think about it. I want to literally physically test it. I do 1 question. I send you 1 question, a la GeoGuessr, which I thought was what we were after this the entire time.
No, dude, you had me making Narnia on the board.
So, right. We'll keep going here, but to cut to the chase, we're where we were about 6 months ago. I'll just say that.
Well, yeah, literally 6 months ago, I think, yeah, probably to the day 6 months ago, I remember in my living room testing the do a nug, send a nug, like 1 question each. And I remember saying the problem was I just got an easy question. I finished it in 20 seconds. And now I just got to wait for Krishna to get back. And I'm fucking losing my mind.
No, dude. That's a
Now,
sign.
well, yeah, here's the thing, though. I think it's like, it's a confluence of a couple of things. Confluence, big word here. Before, I thought the game was everything. Like, you play the game and you train the game. And like, I thought the game was like our thing. And then like the training part where you like drill a bunch of problems, it's like an after effect. I didn't even think about doing a video course at that point. So like I wanted it to be like I'm gonna play this game for the next like hour straight, and that's how I get good at the SAT, not the training side. Now though, I've come to realize like, hey, the training where you're like, oh, I'm bad at algebra, I'm just gonna drill algebra problems, or like linear equations, I'm just gonna do linear equations. I realized like that's where you actually learn, and maybe the videos too. The game is purely to just get your adrenaline going and get you to like play the app, like open the app.
And be viral. Like
Yeah,
literally have like a viral coefficient and spread.
yeah. Which, yeah, now it all makes sense to me. But like before, when I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a 1600 on the SAT by doing one 20-second problem at a time and losing my mind for the next 30 minutes waiting for you, like that's not how I'm gonna learn. Well, fucking smash that whole sentence together. So I'm not how I'm gonna learn.
Yeah.
So it still sounded almost right. Um, so point is like now you get right into like Belky. Let me just fucking
Well,
patch this
wait.
thing together.
No,
Oh,
and this is my bad for working on other stuff for 6 months, but like this was always the game in my head. It was GeoGuessr. I do a question, I send you a question. You do that question, see who won. You do the next question, send me a question. And in between those turns, if you will, like I do a question and send you a question, somebody's going to win based on getting it right or getting the time. When I receive that packet back, that nugget back, I just get a funny little, like, if you won, I get this crazy funny Among Us movie animation where like your Derd takes my Derd's neck, cracks it, and like throws it into the distance. It's like GeoGuessr, one question at a time, and an Among Us funny smart nonsense animation. So actually, I don't think it was outwardly manifesting, but on Monday, or maybe on one of our long calls, I was getting a little bit feisty. I was like, something I'm saying is not transmitting properly because I want a
yeah,
GeoGuessr question and an Among Us animation.
right. And what
And you're
our
like, we
process?
can't do all that. We can't do all
Well,
the fight sequence Street Fighter. We're smashing too many things together.
yeah, no, that's my bad. In retrospect, I see. I just couldn't see it. Um, I'm talking about fucking gummy bears and stuff in Among Us. You're like, what, dude? Just fucking play Among Us once. You'll get what I'm talking about. So that's my bad.
Gummy bears and
Uh,
teddy bears. You
I can't,
were. You were poor Krishna, dude. Krishna, I'm
just got
sorry.
them.
Gummy
Yeah.
bears and teddy bears
Well,
right
that's
now.
she's been putting up with gummy bears and teddy bears for the last. She's probably on the same page as you, and I've put her in the swamp with me in tug of war. She's like, I
It's
got
like,
behind Dylan, and now I'm fucking in the swamp.
uh,
And yeah, it's been really frustrating because like, I was taking the helm on the game, and we just have really, granted, it's only been like a month of having a developer, like officially, but like we'd have little check-in calls where you and Jack sometimes play the game with us, and it'd always just be broken and too complicated, and like shit just didn't work. And I'm like, guys, we don't even need you on the call. It's just like doesn't work. But my solution is we just need to spend more time perfecting it. Your solution would have been like, hey, something's fundamentally broken. Let's just like build it from scratch really simply.
yeah,
And it
like
didn't work.
my intuition is like either duct tape it together, build it ourselves, cobble some tools or APIs together, or like go on Fiverr and pay somebody $25 to make the most bare bones thing. And you're doing gummy bears and teddy grams with our developer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh yeah, sorry.
So well, we start doing what we did 6 months ago,
Do we need to say
which
what
is,
gummy bears and teddy grams is? Because that's not gonna be funny for anybody. Like,
well, I'm just like, Dirt should be tiny on screen so he can always be there, and he like bounces around the screen, and he's the one that hits the button, and then you slap him around.
you're like, I really like the idea of like Derd modeled after like a gummy bear. They're so cute. And it's like, dude, the game's broken, dude.
Right,
No one
right.
gets to see gummy bear Derd if the game doesn't work.
There's this guy, he runs like Google X, so it's like Google's like they look for 10x opportunities thing. And he has this uh fuck, what is his name? I'm gonna forget. But
Gummy
he has
bear
this
Teddy Graham 10x, dude.
he has a saying. It's like, okay, you want to train a monkey to like play the violin and stand on a pedestal to like play in front of people. What do you do? Do you train the monkey or do you build the pedestal as a company? It's like if that's your end goal, is like have a little circus show.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Do I answer that?
oh, you can. Yeah,
Train the
sure.
monkey?
Oh, why?
Wait, what was the riddle again? Do you train the monkey?
Well,
It
if you
plays a
want to have a
violin.
circus show with a monkey playing a violin on stage, and you want him to be on a pedestal so people can see him and stuff, do you train the monkey first or you build the pedestal first?
Oh, which one happens first?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna go with you train the monkey first because it'd still be pretty cool if a monkey was playing the violin. If you don't finish building a pedestal and you didn't train the monkey, you got nothing.
Yeah. I think that's net where we were going with this. Yeah, basically like we know we can build a pedestal. Like that's easy. That's the easy part that we can do. Training the monkey's the hard part. Like we don't know if a fucking monkey can play a violin. So
Mm.
let's start with like doing the hard thing, and then like it's just gonna be easy to build the pedestal after the monkey's playing the violin. Versus you build a pedestal, you waste all that time, and now you got a fucking monkey just playing with his butt on stage. It's like, oh, that's not what we wanted. Um,
You know,
point.
can I take the baton? Well,
Oh yeah.
point being, give me a point being.
Uh, point being, I'm fucking talking about gummy bears, which is like me just fucking got my hammer in the pedestal, just trying to build this thing. And you're like, dude, the monkey's fucking broken. It's picking its butt.
Yeah. So, a side quest baton on easy and hard things. It's often the case. Like I think Keith Rabois says, like you should only focus on the hard problems because if you don't, like you'll never get to them. Or people say like you should do the hardest thing in the morning because it's the hardest thing, and then you kind of get to easier things later. I actually fundamentally believe you should almost always do the easy thing first because it gives you a quick win, gives you momentum, and then like gets you.
You're saying gummy bears?
I'm saying like fucking we're texting
Right.
math problems, stupid easy, and then we can
Right.
layer on as many complexities. And this gets into how we both approach coding on
Right.
Replit. Um,
Well, okay.
so maybe we
So
land the plane at some point.
yeah. Basically, you're like, hey, let's do the fucking exercise we did 6 months ago. Here, I just did this problem. I did it in 12 seconds. Do and see how long it takes you, and then we're gonna see who wins. And we're like texting back and forth problems, and it's really fun because now I'm trying to like do it really fast so I beat you. And we're like, yo, this is fucking crack, like immediate
Another one.
crack.
I do like a medium hard problem in like 45 seconds, and I'm really happy with myself because I got the correct answer. I shoot it off to Krishna as a nugget. She comes back to me with like 7.8 seconds. I'm like, 7.8 seconds?
Right,
How? And like, give me the next. Let's go.
right, yeah. And it's kind of one of those things where I feel like you can beat smarter people than you too. It's kind of like golf where like you could beat Tiger Woods on any given hole by chance. Kind of the same thing. You could play like a genius and just happen to like see it before he does and get it quicker.
Right.
So
You never know.
maybe that helps.
Like I think with that one specifically, like I was plugging in answers or something, and I went through like 3 before I got the right one. And it could just be that either Krishna saw something else or got lucky and plugged in the one right answer
Right.
first.
But now you want to ask like, how the fuck did you do it so fast? Point is, we're just the chat's surging. We're like this. We did not feel this way when we were playing the async game that takes 20 minutes. So this
No,
version,
dude, we
which
wanted
is
to
also
shut
async,
everything down. Literally,
right?
podcast title 72 hours ago.
Yeah.
Everything could not have felt worse.
First day back on. So yeah. You then are like, okay, fucking doing techie. This Replit thing just came out, which lets you build an app. How about you just take the next 30 minutes and just code up what we did in this Replit thing? Like you just go
Well,
and
wait.
figure it out.
So, because we run into a problem, right? I'm like, I want to
Right.
share my math
Problem
game with
first.
my dad.
Oh yeah. Cool.
I sent him like the screenshot of the problem with like invisible ink. So then he would have to like open that up on a computer, swipe the invisible ink, start a timer, and have a piece of paper out, and then submit his answer. It was like,
Right.
okay, how do we duct tape
He
all
said I'll
that?
do it tomorrow. Meaning
Yeah,
like,
right.
okay, this is too heavy of a lift. How do you get him to do it like right
How
now?
do we duct
It's gonna
tape
seem
all of
easy.
that? And then
Right.
I'm like, okay, I think we can like build that really simple nugget mechanism in Replit. Plus, it's just a fun exercise. Like everyone's talking about AI and we don't know how to code, but like we kind of know how to talk English. And so we're like, let's try a new skill.
Right.
Code it
Right.
in Replit.
So you send me off to quote code it in Replit.
End of the workday.
And
End of the
yeah.
workday in quotes.
Right, right. And you go to fucking do yoga or whatever little exercise in the gym. And I put on my tech glasses, my goggles, you might even say, and I get coding. And now this is the first time I haven't played with Replit before, so I'm like learning things from the ground up. But I basically like kind of like when I make my really complicated game and then try and build that. I just send Replit like fucking a 2-paragraph thing, like, "Hey, build this game. This is everything you ever need in a game. Build it." And now,
And well, you start getting frustrated. You start texting me like, "Okay, here's the problem with Replit." I'm like, "Go on," because everybody says it's
user problem.
pure magic, but go on. Here's the problem with Replit. And you're like, it makes something, which is amazing, but then everything's broken. And then I spend my time fixing the broken stuff, which breaks 10 more things. And then it's this perpetual infinite loop of it's almost amazing, but everything's broken. And I had seen your first prompt, Pop.
Right.
I had seen
well, yeah, you're like, can you
initial
just
prompt.
send me the fucking thing? And I'm like, I can't because it's broken. And you're like, just send me something. I'm like, no, dude, I'm fucking DeepSeek. I'm just gonna come out of nowhere, hit you with something banging. But it was perpetually like, no, something's broken, so I can't DeepSeek you yet. And eventually, I think you just snap.
Because we both took Harvard's free CS15. The reason I snapped is because I was, like you said, the chat was surging. And so I wasn't at the gym doing my workout. I was at the gym sitting in a butterfly for like 25 minutes, just kind of lazily stretching, listening to music, and watching the chat surge. And you're telling me about how magical Replit AI is broken. And I'm like, there's just no way. Because we both took CS15's free course. And so I'm going to find my... Okay, here we go. Let me read your initial prompt. We're going to break this down. This is an important learning lesson for everybody involved.
Really trying to land the plane. Okay.
No, dude, the plane can go on. I canceled my meeting and I'm way overtired. CEO. Okay. You say here's a nugget. Wait. Oh my god, dude. Meat eater. Meat eater. Meat eater. Here's what she said. First of all, you start by saying I want to build like a simple game. It's fucking It is a simple game, but like that's a paragraph. Okay. This is Dylan. I want to build a simple SAT math trivia web app. This is an asynchronous heads-up game where you compete to answer SAT math questions fast. If both players get the question correct, the player who answers faster wins. If both get it wrong, the round is a tie and not counted. If one player gets it correct. Dude, I'm like on line 3 out of 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like,
read it.
Yeah, it can, but garbage in, garbage out, dude. CS15.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, our engineer's an idiot, first of all. This guy's all we've got. You're like, you say, I love this grand simplification. Whole app should be a nugget released in 1 month. And I'm like, I'm releasing your Replit tomorrow. So basically figure it out. Okay. And then, so that's one way to build an app if you're full blown. And then after 30 minutes of not really working out, I got really fed up and realized I was going to have to do this myself. And I sent you how I would approach this app building first principles problem. Wait, yeah, here's what you said. Here's the problem with Replit. It's basically, it makes a broken game. I tell it to fix it. Takes 5 minutes fixing because your code base is enormous off the jump. You say, but still broken. I tell it to fix it. 5 minutes fixing, fixed, breaks elsewhere. I tell it to fix it. 5 minutes fixing, perpetual loop. I said, you got to fix it. You're all we've got. Here's how I approach this problem. Start a timer as soon as I open a web page. Give me a math problem. I can submit answer. Stop timer. I told you start there, then you start stacking functionality. You said, do you think I'm stupid? I'm like, yes. Oh, yeah. I said, I saw your initial prompt. It was a full-blown game. You're like, our dev can do this. No, dude. You have literally one job.
I don't know why. Is it 30-minute? No, I don't
41.
know why it shuts off.
Okay. We're not shooting another pod until you get
I think that'll save. I think
and now what? Now how's your video?
It doesn't matter. People are already fucking locked in. They're just gonna watch it on Riverside.
You said you think you're Michael Jordan. Okay. I said we have one idiot engineer right now. Oh yeah, because my brother said like whenever he just pops in and out whenever he feels like. He said whenever you hire enough engineers that you get overwhelmed, I'll help. As in like I'll be your org guy. And I said we got one idiot engineer right now.
I was laughing really hard at my desk like a fucking psycho,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, yeah. So then in all caps you say race, and that's when it was on. You're disrupting my yoga
I had
dinner
at least a 30-minute head start.
and a lot of Severance episodes I need to watch. Okay. Wait, where was my other? Oh yeah, so here. You said, okay, let's play this out. What does player 2 do? I'm like, dude, we're not even touching player 2. I said, don't even go there until you first have a web page that's giving you problems with a timer. Open web page, timer starts, random math problem, submit answer, results given right or wrong, and your time. That's when you said you think you're Michael Jordan. So just two ways to like approach this problem.
Well,
full blown out the gate. I'm going to try and explain it perfectly in a prompt. And mine, which is like, I think this is how you code. Like, I'm pretty sure. But like you start from like it's first principles, I guess. You start from the absolute most bare bones things, get them working, and then only stack up from there. I was calling it the happy stack.
well,
Because you were miserable. I was having a time of my life.
I was actually having a fight with the rep with AI. I was getting really sassy with it. It was pissing me off. And I think I used a lot of tokens just telling it to figure it out. Literally, my prompt was figure it out, make it work. So that can't be a good way to code. But I think what I learned, and it was pissing me off, my ego took a real big hit. I'm still not sure your game's better than mine. Mine's pretty broken. But you were calling me a negative 10x engineer.
Yeah, because I literally, like, I had to come clean up after you. Negative 10x ruined my entire evening. I didn't sleep last night because of this.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either. You're actually going longer than me. Dude, I had an 11:30 hockey game. I leave you to go play that. I come back and you're still fucking jamming on this stuff.
You had a big head start on me, and then like about 2 hours in, all of your shit was broken, and I was about 10 or 15 minutes in, and I had a web page. Wait, is that in my camera? Like web page, timer, answer the question, tell me if I got it right. And so I'm like, this is fun. Like let's stack
Right.
let's stack on top of this.
Well, what I realized basically, you said we did the Harvard CS course, but I really didn't. I think maybe I watched the intro
No,
episode.
me neither.
But I realized how to think like a software engineer through this. And it's kind of one of those like Elon things, like learn physics, so you learn how to think. I realized, yes, like the way you build software is, and I don't actually know if this is true, but this is how it felt. You build the super basic, like one Lego at a time, one brick at a time. You make tests to make sure it's not broken in any ways. Once that's a fucking solid, sturdy foundation, you go on to the next Lego. You just fucking Lego up. Versus I'm just like, here's my fucking fantasy tower. Throw all the Legos at it, and it just smashes into the AI. So it's just
so many lessons here.
I know. So it was a huge day of reckoning for me. Honestly, I think I lost the battle, but I think I'm gonna win the war. And maybe I don't want to win the war, so maybe I'm losing the war too at the same time. But like, because Jordan's ego is getting a little out of hand, we got to figure that out. But
Jordan's
pretty much
ego is I'm Michael Jordan of shorts,
yeah.
Mr. Beast, also known as Tim Cook or Steve Jobs. Ego's getting out of control because I solved the brain blast problem. Shorts are ripping.
6 month problem.
I cracked the smart nonsense agency problem.
You come in and shorts for this SAT. We have
my God,
the account.
Dude.
You're
straight to the head.
Fuck, dude. We were getting like 10,000 views and like, oh, why are things dipping? Henry's like, let me give it a go. And your first one gets like 100K, the next one 400K. like basically 10x's immediately. It's like, fuck this guy, dude.
Right, so I come in, I fix Krishna's shorts, and no fault of Krishna, she was just busy and took her eye off of it. I told her, um, fix Krishna's shorts, fix this problem you guys have been toiling over for 6 months. I uncracked the Smart Nonsense Clipped agency, which has been fucking Bazooka Joe everywhere. Um, and like shorts are ripping. Edsel, head of shorts, is tooting my own horn here, but like Edsel, head of shorts, is ripping. We've gotten turnaround times from like 60 hours to 25. The team's all working together. They're super happy.
Fuck, dude. Are you gonna ask for a raise?
No, dude, pro bono.
Pro bono.
Keep it
That's
all.
awesome.
It's all in the family,
That's really
literally.
good.
As we just so. Oh yeah. So end of the night. No, like the battle in the wards. It was interesting because like by the end of the evening, you had a a better functioning, like more complete game with like start game buttons. It looked much prettier. It did actually kind of function. So like you had like a prettier, mostly complete game, but like mine worked better. Like mine was pretty close to I can do a problem, text you a problem, you can do it, get the next one, text it back to me.
Right. And now we're at this. Basically, why are we doing that? Like, why not just have our developer do it? We just wanted to move really fast and just test like, can the monkey like fucking potentially play the violin here? And it seems like with the bare bones, just like do a problem, send a problem, like do a nug, send a nug. That's how we can test if it can play or if it has potential to play, and then we'll bring it to the developer to actually like properly build this game in an app. Honestly, we could probably figure it out, but you don't really want to do a whole thing yet in Replit. It's probably within a year. Like I think shit could
Oh,
we could
dude,
do
if
the
if
entire
I
thing.
was like the founder, if I was like a solo founder of Brain Blast, I had all the time and money in the world, I'd probably just sit down and bang out the entire thing with AI.
Oh, well.
Like
Well, not everyone's Michael
Jordan.
Jordan.
I really like Peter Levels. He just like builds really simple web apps that solve
Mm,
a kind of burning problem with some virality baked in, and like they do really well. Uh,
yeah.
I think like 4 hours in, I did a couple more hours this morning. I think we're like
So you did a couple
certainly,
more hours this morning.
certainly, I'll probably put in a couple more tonight, but it might get me activated. Uh,
Right.
I am gonna go soak in the hot tub probably, but hang on. Uh, the when we're like I would say 60-70% of the way to like at least with mine, uh, do a problem, send a problem, like foundation of a viral game. And I sent the broken link to my dad and told him like just try one.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't work well, but he did one. I'm like talking about something that's broken. He sends me a second. I'm like still talking about something that's broken in text. He sends me a third. I'm like, Dad, like stop. He sends me a fourth. He's like, but my time, like I keep getting worse. I'm like, it's viral, dude. This guy's
Right.
he's not taking the SAT. He
Right.
just
He's
he
a
just did four
60-year-old man.
he just did four math problems and sent them to
Right.
me.
Well, that's what's funny too, because it's like when we cap them at 2, then you start tweaking too, because you're like, but my time, I could do it faster. That was
One
just
night.
unfair.
Yeah.
So that's good. We're on to something. Thanks to Jordan for coming back, playing tug of war, and maybe we'll make something great.
Dude, Gardaloo.
Gardaloo, nice dude. Way to tie a bow.
My vision just went like black.